Okay, let's start. I will introduce the meeting for tonight. So thanks for joining. And this is a space for mainly asking questions about our process and maybe the details of the new orientation for the school at AAA Awakening. That there is a whole video that you can have on our channels and to see. We explain why we decided to go for a new curriculum for what was the level one and level two trainings for teachers. And so we will not go too much into details about that tonight, but it will be more a question and answer format. But basically, we have decided that it's a process that matured over the years that we realized, especially since COVID, that the way the curriculum for level one and level two was proposed by the academy was not a frame that was aligned with the needs of the people and the needs of the nervous system. And we have a very deep wish to so that these teachings are more integrated by the people. And we realized that now level one, especially now, there's too much content, too much delivery of content compared to what the people can actually digest and implement and apply in their personal life. So this is the main issue we faced over the years, and it increased a lot since 2020 and the COVID. So just to be clear, we are in very good terms with the institution. We have very good friends there. We are in very good terms with the Sangat, with the organizers of the festival and everything. There's no conflict. There is no hidden agenda with whomever. We are fine with everybody and full of gratitude for everything we have received over the years and for the teachings of Yogi Bhajan. And this gratitude is just expanding over the years. But we realize now that those teachings need a new frame to be better understood by the new generations. And we have been lucky to teach in many different areas, many different countries, and realize what works and what needs to evolve. So we don't want to make the teachings in themselves evolve. They are universal, they are eternal. So the teachings will still be the teachings, but the frame and the curriculum in which we want to deliver there is evolving, and it's part of the discussion right now. And us leaving the institution and creating a new curriculum. So I think most of you already read the papers, and maybe most of you also have seen the video. So if you already have questions, please, this is the time to ask them, and we'll be very happy to answer best we can. Welcome.
And also, before we go there, if you need if you would like, if you didn't read and if you didn't see the video and you would like the link, you can also ask us when you want.
Satnam, did you hear me?
Yes, Satnam, we hear you very well.
First of all, thank you for this meeting. I am Srikar Singh from France. And I have a question about I understand all the evolution you explained, and I was wondering if you contacted the Free Show institution to explain what you are doing and if they are open to listen to it and maybe to reform or to change even the format, official format, before you left to start a new thing.
If I just may answer that with the detail first, Fateh and Satmuk, and then of course you can complement. I spoke to Kairai about that. I have talked to Karamjot, who is the coordinator for Europe, and I informed him of that. mostly the concern for him was the TNT. So I took care of that, and we are in a transition to see how they can proceed if they want to proceed. But it's true, I didn't think of 3HO because the training are delivered by KRI. So for me, the relationship I have and the commitment I had all this year was with KRI. We are a trainer in the academy. I didn't have, and I still don't have the impression that 3HO could help us change the teachings. And I also had no hope that KRI could change the teaching and could change them that fast, because this is something that has been come over the years. We made many requests. We were in contact many times with Amrit since the allegation, since COVID, and the direction where KRI was going was not exactly what we would have wished, but we also understood that they had to cover an international space and also sort of international marketing, being a non-profit and living on the work of the trainer and on the teaching. So we respected that. But this is why we also didn't see the possibility to change that approach. And it's also, KRI is also dragging a very big weight with all the trainers. Everybody needs to agree. It will take 10 years before they eventually change one direction. And when Amrit left and Jagat Guru took over, we've thought, well, now we will have to restart from the beginning. So for us, it was not an option. We really strongly felt that this transition, this change was needed very soon. At least it was in our heart. So wait to drag a whole community international, this was not really our purpose. We'd like to teach, and we explained that also in the video. We are not so motivated to change things at that level.
Thank you. It was very complete. And is it possible to have a look about your new program of level 1?
Yeah, it will not be level 1. There will be no level 2. It's the whole pedagogy that is changing about this whole idea about faking it and you will make it, creating teachers. This is the whole frame that Yogi Bhajan created and this intention that we are changing. We don't change the teachings, but the frame in which people are going into a lot of stress to become something that they are not out of 3 weeks of trainings and then start to teach when a lot of the nervous system are not ready. This whole pedagogy we want to change. So this will not really be level 1 and level 2, and we don't want to deliver certificates anymore. So we will certify that people have done a training for 200 or 500 hours, but we want people to take more responsibility also in the way they decide to teach. And we don't want to deliver a diploma that then people consider themselves a teacher. And we want people to be more involved and aware of where they are, how much they are impacted in their nervous system when they teach, because we have seen many, many teachers got burnt out through teachings, and a lot of the shadow work that is needed when you start to teach is not done. So we found that many people, since COVID, it has increased so much, have a very, very shaky nervous system, nervous breakdown, burnout. And so what we want to implement is a way that people have a deep understanding of their nervous system and see how they are impacted. So when they teach, they can really digest and integrate what they teach. So it's not really like or there is a new level 1. So this is what we want to talk about a little bit more tonight. This is not like we replace level 1 and level 2. It's like a different frame and different intention. So it's not changing what Yogi Bhajan taught, but the frame in which it was, which is multiplying teachers all over the world, which was the main mission of Yogi Bhajan, creating teachers. This is not our mission. Our mission is more integrated and clarifying the teachings so we can apply them in our day-to-day life. And teaching is more like an organic consequence of that, more than a goal to achieve, which is completely different in the way than the curriculum will be delivered.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And
And it's still in a work in progress. So sharing now is a little too early because we need to talk with our whole team, and it's just the start.
okay.
The shape it will take is not established yet. So it's too
No,
early to
okay.
share that. Yeah.
So it's not finalized, and
No.
you cannot give a precise format or about what you are going to propose.
Yeah, there
Visible.
are directions and orientations is what we call orientations because there are main lines of energy what we want to, but the way it will be implemented, it will be also maybe different according to the countries, to the
Okay.
people that we collaborate also with. So it's a very open. It's just a new sprout, but the shape it will take will be more in the. We are in a year of transition, so it will maybe the first trainings will appear next year or in 2 years. Let's see. So it's a work in progress.
But maybe Fateh, you could explain because we do have a document that mostly you prepared, and so you can honor that because it's a very precise document with a lot of details about the topics and what is the intention behind that. Maybe the stages, the stage of foundation, what we consider to be the first block, and yeah, this idea maybe we could share.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
So
And
thank
Now,
you
now you
for
mean yeah, now.
I
thank you
meant
for your
now.
answer.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sirika.
Sirika, for being there.
I thought now, but if you don't want to go for that, it doesn't need to take a lot, but just 5 minutes to say what is the main direction with with the different models, the different big sector of it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, over the years, what one thing that came very strongly in the feedback and our experience is that there are many practices in Kundalini Yoga, but some of the basic ones, very important ones like foundations, are underestimated and they are not deepened enough in the sadhanas of the students and the teachers as well. So the main idea in the frame we want to propose is that there are less kriyas, but kriyas that are very well understood and very well practiced in depth, so that people really integrate the energy of the kriya. Because each kriya that Yogi Bhajan taught is actually an initiation in itself. That over the practice, then it opens certain channels in the body. And if we practice it long enough until we really reach a resonance of the magnetic field, that is part of us forever. And this is the idea in this new training. We want less information, but an information that is really integrated. So the first step of that, we call that Kundalini Foundation. And I don't know if I go really into the whole details of it because it will be so much information for the people. But let's say that the foundation will have 3 steps, and it will be over a period of 2 years. That's the idea now. But I don't want to be too precise because we still need to discuss many of these elements. But the beginning of it is that the first thing is to open the conch, which is the resonance of the physical body as a conch, really like a shell that remembers this, that can remember even if when it is outside of the ocean, it remembers the sound of the ocean wherever it is. So even though it's separated, it remembers the connection, the deep connection through sound. So the conch is the main initiation in the Shabbat Guru system. And this is done through the process of, there's 2 things. There is opening, when you blow a conch, you need to have your navel centered so that the sound is produced, the projection of the sound is clear. And this navel centering is the first step of the process of Kundalini initiation. So the first part of it will be called Agni, and it will be awakening the navel point and awakening the Shakti, the fire of the navel. So we are centered in the physical body, and the physical body is purified. So the whole process of the first year will be called Chanka Prachalana, which is the cleaning of the conch. So realizing we are a conch and cleaning the pipes of this conch so the sound can start to circulate. So this is self-initiation into Shabbat Guru. So the first step will be centering the navel and going through Agni. learning about really the basics and the understanding from experience of what Agni is, also from all the Ayurvedic perspective, and how Kundalini Yoga is probably one of the most efficient way to have the experience within the body of the Agni, the inner fire. And then when Agni is ignited, then we can have start to have a feeling of the resonance of the five elements. So the second step will be initiation into the awakening the Agni of each of the five elements. And this whole process of awakening Agni and awakening the five elements is done mainly through the process of the Adishakti meditation. So this is going in depth into what we call also the Longue Konkar, which is a practice that in itself is so complete. This is a practice, if it's deepened enough, it's enough to have an experience of Kundalini awakening. We don't need 8,000 Kriyas. We not just need this one practiced correctly. So one of the main point of this first year is that we really have an experience of the Longue Konkar embodied. And the third step of that is called Soma, is the idea of integration and listening. So through that module, we have an all understanding of the nervous system and the new information we have also on trauma therapy and understanding how the different parts of the nervous system interact. And when we have that, we have an inner understanding how a practice is nourishing for us, when it's igniting fire and releasing some subconscious block, but how much we can be aware of the digestive process by having a direct feedback of our nervous system. So this will be the main, what we call Kundalini Foundation. We have 3 steps, and the first step of Kundalini Foundation will be initiation, and this is what I just shared. So these are igniting practices, balancing practices, and integrating practices. So we have all the steps of the 3 gunas, and it's a complete process. The idea is whenever you come into the school, which any level you can come without any necessary some previous experience, because we want every subject to be open to everyone. So there will be a progressive path for those who want to walk it, but it's also open from any perspective, like a mandala. So, and the idea is that when you have the basis also with what was usually level 2 will now be like an open field of subject, and people will be able to do their own curriculum based on what they resonate with and what they want to deepen as a practice. So that it's not only becoming a teacher that makes you deepen the teachings, but from wherever you come, you can apply Kundalini where you are. As a healer, as a businessman, as a mother at home, maybe, whatever the job, whatever the field, or the teachings can be applied, and you can navigate in your own way, in your own resonance. So it's at the same time more precise and more integrated, and at the same time it stays very flexible and open in an Aquarian way, so people can walk by resonance and not by such a constricted frame. That's mainly the idea. More integration, but also more flexibility so that people can navigate in their own way.
So thank you. I guess with that, the question of Barbara on the chat is answered. It was just about that. So I think he's very complete. So if you have questions, you can switch on your microphone, or you can write them on the chat, or yes, we will try to answer everything.
It's again Sri Karsing. If I well understood what you explained, Fateh, how could you apply this when you teach with a group? That means if someone want to go in the direction, you follow this person who want to go in this direction, or I cannot understand very well.
I don't think I got the question right.
You say that each person can go in the direction she prefer, if I well understood.
Yeah, the foundations will be like foundation is the same for everyone, but then there will be a deepening studies in like you could say second step somehow, And there will be many different subjects, and people will have it's like a number of hours. Like now, level 2 is something like 500 or something. Then it would be approximately the same, but then you can choose the subject that you want to do. It's not like today where you have like 5 subjects and you need to do the 5 modules. There will be a larger proposition, and people can navigate. So some people can specialize in sound yoga. Some people can maybe specialize in healing. Some people can maybe specialize more in the nervous system, and there will be more proposition over the years. But this is something that will build up over the years. So there will be a minimum of number of hours to go into the deepening process. But again, when it's not so much about the diploma, the idea is more like you spend more time deepening the studies, but the subject you choose by yourself.
But it's subject that you follow at home, not collectively.
No. There will be a whole part online and a whole part on site, like retreats.
Okay.
So it's still for us, the teacher-student relationship is very important, and the collective field is essential. And we learn together. So this will stay, and it will be always there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's even something we realize with the old model is that sometimes we were pushed to teach theory that was part of the curriculum, but was not really the priority at that moment or the priority for that group. So what we want to develop is, yes, the theoretical basis needs to be covered, but that can be online, that can be recorded video. And then the time we spend together, this is really for question answers and bring the teaching alive from this interaction, teacher-student and teacher with the group. And for us, this is such an important space because this is really where we can go beyond the academical frame and make the teaching alive, because there is the polarity, and from the question we can identify what is the topic we need to address. So we want to have this flexibility that for us is crucial, and that we lose when we are dependent on so much theory and content, where we kind of run after, okay, we need time, we need to address this topic and that topic. And today, I mean, if you want to learn on a topic, you can ask ChatGPT and it will tell you much more. So this is also the reality, is that theory as such is not that crucial today in a teacher training. And of course, we will deliver it and we will record videos. But time together where we can experience co-regulation of our nervous system and deep healing, this is very important for us.
Thank you. There is a question on, I think, iZone, and I think it's an important one because we have heard it also already for some TNT. It is, I have level 1 certificate. Should I keep the connection with Kairai or just go with you? So it's an important one because you don't need to choose. We might speak of leaving Kairai because for years we had contract with them with trainings and we were paying royalties. This was a relationship, a trainer to the institution. But the students are not leaving Kairai. If you are already a teacher, level 1 certified, you will remain a teacher, level 1 certified your whole life. And if you want to become a Kairai certified teacher, level 2, you can become it by attending other training of Kairai. And then, if you like, you can join our retreat also. We are not closing the door to those that want to remain Kairai and opening the door to those who want to come with us. It's not a separation. It's not at all a separation. We're just leaving an administration. So the terminology is very important. We are leaving our commitment contract commitment with Kairai. It's administrative, but we still remain Kairai certified teacher. We are level 1 and level 2 certified teacher. We are trainer. It cannot change. It's not that suddenly we are shredding the papers and we forget everything. And for you is the same. Those who are level 1 certified teacher will remain so. There is no decision to take. There is no communication to be made like, dear Kairai, I leave you. It's not that at all. You are not leaving anything. You can continue your whole life to attend our training if you want, or to attend Kairai, or to attend both.
Yeah, and this is connected to the question of Sirika about 3HO. If we consider 3HO the global Sangat, the global community, we are not leaving the community. There is no such question. It's just that the academical frame, which is KRI, that give the administrative and legal context for the training and for the trainer in training. This we don't want to follow anymore.
Yeah, and there was also some questions about, will you still teach the Kriyas according to the tradition of the way Yogi Bhajan taught it? And the answer is yes. Those teachings work. They are extremely efficient. They are precious, and we will keep on teaching them in their purity. But we want them even to honor them even more by really clarifying and deepening them. But what we are teaching now, it will not change. It will just take a different frame in the curriculum. But what we have learned over the years and the way we taught will not change. We want to honor that, and it's like the frame of Kerai became a little limited in the way we want to evolve in the curriculum, but the teachings in themselves are not changing.
And Dragana is asking a question in the chat: how can we get the information on the new format once it's ready? We will have the website. We will continue posting on Instagram. We will continue posting on Facebook. We have some of your address in the newsletter, which at the moment is suspended, but we still plan to send information through that. And we will have a period of transition to really start slowly. We are not going to offer in 2025 full program and 5 weeks of training. We are just getting ready to start offering towards the end, because there needs to be a transition, and then we need to set it and then start. It's not a sudden change. It's something that is going to start organically. So once it is in place, you will know what is offered. Of course, we will let you know. And if you don't hear it, it's because we are very bad at marketing. So write us an email and we will answer. Thank you. We will need to improve that also. So there is another question. If students have not finished Kairai level 1, but would like to have training with you, how would they be able to start teaching once they feel ready? As in some country, it is not allowed to teach without Kairai or Yoga Alliance certification. Thank you.
Who is answering this one?
The question of the certification is something that might appear important for certain countries. So I would say we are considering it according to the countries. But to be honest, I was never asked my certification except when I asked for a professional working visa in China, and I even did a fake one because the one I had didn't work for the visa application. But just to say that we believe that we are not in a time of paper certification, a validation from outside that will tell you, yes, you have the level to teach and so on. And so this is not our priority, but we are open to adjust according to the countries and according to the rules there. And at the same time, I hear, yes, in my country, I need a certificate. And at the same time, I hear in the same country, never anybody asked for my certificate. So in this new format, we really believe in self-qualification, because self-qualification means that you take 100% the responsibility of what you are doing. Therefore, you learn 100% from what you are doing. But then there is the administrative and legal reality, which at the end is just money. Today you can pay to be certified. It's a total nonsense. And legally, the certification have no value. If you are in a country like China, if you are certified by this or that, it has no legal value. So it's a bit messy, but I understand that psychologically it can be reassuring to I am certified by an international organization. I belong to this organization. So of course we want to include this parameter, but it will be case by case, country by country.
So there might be a yoga alliance. We are also studying that, but now it's not decided yet. But anyway, you will have there will be a paper saying, oh, you have done 200 hours or 500 hours or whatever. So, because like in France, sometimes some places where you want to teach, they ask you for this kind of certificate. So this we can deliver, of course.
There are some question or some comment in Instagram, so I don't know if we want to go there.
Yeah.
There is a question, more than a question, a comment, but maybe we can also go there. With all the changes over the past few years in the communities, have also KRI started to evolve and move with the time?
With KRI, what happened recently is it's a kind of slowing down the change, because there was a change of KRI boards and also many boards in the Kundalini Yoga Association, organization, I would say. And before there was a lot of effort from KRI with the director, Amrit Singh, to, I would say, delocalize from the United States and try to reach out and represent all the countries and all the trainers in the process of taking decision. So Amrit Singh was putting a lot of energy into that and being available to answer questions and to make connection and so on. But 6 months ago, or more than 6 months, I don't remember exactly, but the board changed, the director changed, and it seems that they are going changing direction, because otherwise they would have not changed, but nobody knows which direction exactly, because we haven't received any orientation or any document regarding that. So it's for us, it's like this big administration, this big organization are very slow to change, and they are also subject to political decision, like what happened. It created big waves when the KRI board was dismissed and then changed with new people, and nobody had control over that. And since then, we don't have really a clarity about what is happening. So it didn't really influence us in our decision, but it created even more a gap, because they look for me. Before I had personal contact with Amrit, with other members, but today it's like even further away from my reality. So somehow, yes, they change, they move, but it's also political, it's big. And we don't have so much energy and prana to invest in this organization because somehow our personal and collective, I would say, mission or where we want to put our joy and enthusiasm is not really in changing the organization. And people are good for that. And people are also very motivated to do that. But for us, it's more towards the teaching and finding way to deliver them with simplicity, clarity, and that's really connected to the reality of the people today. So somehow to change fast and to have this flexibility, also to adapt the frame of the training according to the countries and also according to the local trainers and the competency and what is needed locally, we need to be small. And it's not really imaginable to do that at such scale.
So I cannot see past question in the Instagram. If there are, I don't know, maybe after we can write some answer in the comment when the video is finished, unless Fateh, you see, you can view also past
Yeah, there is
comments.
a commentary which is interesting there. I have been practicing Long Ekankar since 210 days after Anahat retreat in Turkey. Thank you for changing the format. I will be following. Time to sleep here. Okay. So this is just a feedback of somebody who actually, because some of the frame of the teachings, we have also some tested it in some way because it comes from our experience. So this was also direct feedback of somebody who went deeper into it, who had also a lot of experience, who did level 1, level 2, who came back to the basics and got a lot of benefit from it. And this is what we got in the last trainings, that people they realize, oh, but the basics, we skipped the basic in some way. Because level 1 was so much information that it goes from one here, it gets into the other. And then some of the essential we skip. So they are a development on shaky grounds. So I would say that one of the main orientation is that we don't want shaky grounds. We want fertile, stable ground that then people can be find their own way and navigate. So it's really the idea that if the nervous system is built in the right way and the fundamental practices are deepened, then there is like a progressive and organic growth that is not putting us into so much crisis because can Kundalini can really put people in deep crisis. And I believe it's not needed if we really have the appropriate frame and the trust also in the relationship. And that's also something very, very important, is that we realized over the time that part of the trust of the people was also with the institution unconsciously, because we were belonging also to that institution, and we were also three of us trusting this institution that came out of the intention also of Yogi Bhajan. And now it's the time for us also to take responsibility, to hold our own intention and take responsibility of the relationship even more with the people that come to us. But for that, we need to take responsibility. We need to know really where we are bringing people and to be clear about it. When it's coming from the institution, we needed to digest that and just do how the institution said also. And we evolved already a lot within the frame of the institution. It's not that this institution gave us also some freedom to evolve. But now it's not enough. It's like the magnetic field of the intention of Yogi Bhajan is gone through a cycle, and now it needs to be recycled, and it's recycled by the new generations. So that's what we are doing now, integrating the cycle and taking the feedback, because we also realize, so this is more about the TNTs, but that the TNT process doesn't really work. It's not the pedagogy that works. It is not efficient. At least it has not been for us, and it's not for the people that were in the process. So this also needs to change. So, yeah. I will check if there are other
Yeah,
questions.
what you mentioned also, Fateh, about crisis, it's we realize that today, because the nervous system of the people are very sensitive, that too much information and too much experience can add to the traumatic layers, and that even create more contraction of the person, but with an identification to the spiritual persona. So we end up with people that get attached to the sorry, Fateh, I reduced the sound. Get attached to the spiritual persona, and without solving their shadow, and without solving their subconscious fears and subconscious habit and patterns. So we want less. We want to create space so people can feel safe and have time to digest, and in order to start on good foundation, like no shaky ground, like Fateh said. And today we need absolutely that. And we went into many countries. I mean, we are still going in many countries. We went to teach level 2, and we realized that the participants of level 2 didn't even have the I would say the foundation or the stability to get the teaching. So why, and plus with the illusion that they were at a certain level, number 2, and then there is even number 3. And this is just a nonsense.
Now, I have a question about the fact you say you need more space. I can understand it, but to have more space, that means you take off some subject from the original program. And do you know already which subject you take off and which subject you keep?
One subject that we honor very much and we value very much is the 10 bodies. And in level 1, unfortunately, there is no time to address it really in depth and to have a clear understanding. So this is something that we want to give more space to it. And it will not be part of the foundation. It will be part of a after foundation retreat, or whatever you call it, approfondissement, deepening retreat.
And we are not really taking away anything. We are just creating a foundation and then exploring for those who want in deeper retreats topics that we don't consider to be part of the foundation of the real structure of the human being. Like now I filtered, I'm on a strong nervous system, and I can get I can get that. So we are not removing anything as such, but we are separating the topics so that there is the possibility to deepen some or go for others, like what I said, if we are more interested or drawn to something, rather than giving an introduction to everything in 3 weeks and then letting people with a vague integration or no integration at all, but a vague knowledge of this subject.
So you have already made a selection with priority for some subject and not although you will teach maybe later, or is it precise already or not?
Yeah, the thing is that some of the content that it was delivered through level 1 in 3 weeks, I mean, let's say 20, 21 days in 1 year, then we want to have a first year, which is really foundation 1, that we really set the basics. And then there is foundation 2 and foundation 3, where some of the subjects are really deepened. And part of it, like Satmuk said, is like the 10 bodies. We want people to go that in depth, so that they have the whole medicine wheel of the tradition that is settled in part of the foundation. When we realize now that when we present, for example, the 10 bodies, like it's already the fifth day of the first week, people, they already got so much information that, of course, when they hear this content, there is almost a fascination about it. But then everything is like, okay, it was nice, but then how do you apply that? To apply that, you really need to have a full week at least, where you go into the details of the numbers, the relationship, how they work through the kriyas, and how it is applied. Because a lot of the content now in level one, we try to make it as applied as possible over the years, and we were successful in part of it. But to really apply and have an experience of those teachings, so it's not only a mind transmission, but it's really embodied, you need also more time to have those foundations stable. So that's also the idea, that it's not so much that we take out some content, but we deliver it in such a way that it's in a longer frame of time, so it's more digest. And a lot of the humanology we found out that Yogi Bhajan said as sometimes as rules and stuff, you find all that in a lot of details in the Ayurveda and in the knowledge of the ancients. So Yogi Bhajan plugged to that. So if we want also to relate the whole training with the seasons, with nature, the movement of the five pranas, for example, the five vayus, is essential. I consider that somebody who doesn't have an understanding within his own body of how the five vayus are working, it cannot really teach, because teaching Kundalini Yoga is about understanding from the body how the five vayus are working. And if we have this understanding, we see how this understanding is applied in the nature, in the dynamic of the seasons. Then you have a deeper understanding of which kriya you can teach when. And it's not like from the mind that you can start to think and make relation, oh, this is that. No, you have an understanding how it works. And that's the idea of the foundations, that people have enough embodying of the teachings. And maybe they don't have so much kriyas, but the one they have, they know how to apply it. They make deep connections. And then when they teach it, they also know the impact it will have on students. They can really deeply guide the students into those kriyas. Because how can you really guide somebody and have feedback from somebody who's practicing a kriya that you don't yourself have a deep experience of? It's very difficult. So that's also the idea, that the whole frame that was, okay, Yogi Bhajan said, Yogi Bhajan said, Yogi Bhajan said, is actually part of a thousands of year old tradition, which is Ayurveda. So the idea is also that the new training will be framed with that. So the first week is about Agni, the last week, the last module about Soma. So you have the polarity of life, and in between you have Indra. So it's also connected to the three main deities that you find in the original scriptures, which are the Vedas. So this is all like there's a continuity that we find in this frame. So it's not like we skipped some teachings. It's no more like the way. It's like not there is a whole module just humanology. No, humanology is already there in the first module. Is there all through the process. It's not a separate module. So that's why I say it's a change of frame, because we realize that some basic things, that when it's shared in the right frame, then the people get it, and then it's applied. And it's not applied like I should or I should not, which is a thing that appeared a lot in Kundalini Yoga, that people start to apply rule a little blindly, because they don't really understand why. But this is how the tradition says that. But when you have an understanding from your body why you do that, then you have the wish and the joy to go for it. So it's not a sadhana that you go because you should, because you want to become a better part of yourself, but it's a sadhana that you do out of joy, which is a completely different frame again. It's a nourishing sadhana. It's not a sadhana that is like another duty.
Or I need to do it because I have to get my certificate.
Yes. So it's getting 1 hour now, so I think the live Instagram will go off. So maybe if we need to talk more, we will need to start a new one probably.
Thank you, Aison, for your comment. If there are no more questions on Insta or here, I guess we are set, and we will keep on answering questions if they come up through comments everywhere. So yeah, of course. Yeah. So thank you. I think we can close here if you are okay. Thank you for being with us, and yeah, many blessings. And we'll
Thank
see each
you.
other.
Thank
Satnam.
you. Satnam.
Satnam.